Have you ever wondered why, despite eating well, exercising regularly, and doing everything the right way, your legs still feel weaker? Why does it seem like the stairs are getting steeper? Why does it take just a little longer to rise from a chair than it used to? Is this simply aging, or could there be another, more hidden factor subtly working against you? Here's where you might be surprised. It's not always about what you're not doing. In fact, it's often about something you're already doing day after day without realizing how harmful it might be. Most seniors make this quiet mistake every single day. They do it confidently, even proudly, thinking they're making the right choice. Why? Because they've been told their whole lives that fruits are healthy, natural, and good for you. And yes, for the most part, fruits are indeed healthy. But here's the part nobody talks about. Not every fruit is ideal for aging bodies. In fact, some fruits, the ones we eat regularly and without hesitation, can quietly chip away at our strength. They can contribute to weaker legs, nagging knee pain, increased joint inflammation, and make walking feel more difficult than it used to be. Fruits that are commonly seen as wholesome may actually be quietly undermining your mobility, balance, and leg strength. As we age, our bodies naturally go through changes. Our circulation slows, our metabolism becomes less efficient, and the foods that once helped us thrive can begin to have unintended consequences. This is especially true for certain fruits. They may look harmless, they might taste sweet and feel refreshing. But beneath the surface, they can contain high levels of acid, excess sugars, and other compounds that affect blood sugar regulation, trigger joint inflammation, and gradually weaken our legs. What makes this even more concerning is that the damage is slow, subtle, and almost invisible until one day you feel a sudden tightness in your knees after just a short walk, a strange ache in your thighs, or a persistent pain in your calves. It doesn't happen overnight, but when it does, it can feel like it came out of nowhere. That's why today, we're going to uncover the 7 most harmful fruits that anyone over the age of 60 should be cautious about, especially if you're concerned about preserving your leg, strength, mobility, and long-term independence. Despite how innocent they may seem, these fruits can be deceptive. Once you know the truth, you may never look at your fruit bowl the same way again. So stay with me to the very end if you care about maintaining strong, pain-free legs and a stable, active life. This might just be the wake-up call your body has been waiting for. But before we dive into the list, I want to ask you for a quick favor. Click that subscribe button and turn on notifications, especially if your health is a priority. This is where we uncover truths most people aren't talking about. And I want to know, are you with me? If you're still watching and this message resonates with you, type 1 in the comments below. If it doesn't, type 0. You might not realize it, but your voice truly matters more than you think. Let's begin by discussing the first fruit on our list. It's widely praised for its ability to reduce inflammation, yet it may be having the opposite effect on aging bodies. Let's talk about pineapple. Pineapple, the tropical delight. It's juicy, refreshing, and packed with a powerful enzyme known as bromelain, which has earned it a reputation as a natural anti-inflammatory. But here's the twist. While many believe pineapple soothes inflammation, in reality, it might be quietly triggering it, especially in seniors. What most people don't realize is that pineapple is rich in strong natural acids and sugars. These sugars aren't as innocent as they seem, particularly once you're over the age of 60. Here's why. As we age, our blood vessels become more delicate and reactive. They don't respond to sugar spikes the way they did when we were younger. So, while pineapple might offer nutritional benefits, it also delivers a significant jolt of natural sugar to the bloodstream. That sugar spike can cause damage to the small blood vessels that supply oxygen and nutrients to your legs, feet, and muscles. Over time, As circulation begins to deteriorate, your legs receive less oxygen, and that leads to pain, fatigue, and swelling, even after light activity. You may feel that familiar dull ache in your calves or that dragging exhaustion in your thighs after walking a short distance. You might stand up and feel a stiffness in the knees or ankles even after sitting for hours. Pineapple could be playing a role in that. But there's more. Pineapple's acid content adds another layer of trouble. That acidity can irritate joints, especially if you already struggle with inflammation, arthritis, or chronic pain. Instead of soothing your joints, pineapple may actually be fueling the fire, intensifying that burning sensation in your hips, knees, and ankles. Some people even report a heaviness in their legs after eating pineapple, as if their strength is slowly fading away. And if you're on medication, particularly blood thinners, you should know that bromelain can interact with those drugs, either enhancing their effects dangerously or weakening their intended purpose. Perhaps the most alarming part of all is that pineapple doesn't cause dramatic, obvious symptoms. It doesn't give you a stomachache or make your joints hurt immediately. Instead, the damage is gradual, silent, and difficult to trace until one day you find that you're no longer able to move with ease. What makes this worse is that most seniors are completely unaware that this seemingly healthy fruit could be contributing to the yearly weakening of their legs and joints. So, what can you do? You don't have to avoid pineapple altogether, but it's time to ask questions and raise awareness, especially if you're someone who's been battling leg pain, swelling, or mystery discomfort. The damage may be subtle, but it's very real. Now, if a fruit that's celebrated for its anti-inflammatory properties, like pineapple, can be this potentially harmful, what about the next one? It's soft, it's sweet, and it's praised for boosting muscle power and potassium levels. Yet it may be deceiving you all along. Let's talk about bananas, the second fruit. Bananas, the supposed friend of muscles, often labeled as the ultimate post-workout snack. They're soft, easy to digest, and packed with potassium, which is believed to prevent cramps and strengthen muscles. But the story changes when it comes to the elderly. You see, bananas are also high in natural sugar and rapidly digesting carbohydrates. For seniors, this combination can cause rapid spikes in blood sugar, which may trigger insulin resistance over time. When this happens frequently, the body's ability to regulate inflammation weakens and circulation suffers. And when that flow is impaired, the legs pay the price. After eating bananas regularly, you may notice heaviness in your legs, stiffness in your calves, or soreness while climbing stairs or taking a walk. That's no coincidence. It's your body signaling an internal imbalance. But the banana problem doesn't stop there. Bananas can also lead to fluid retention, particularly in individuals with heart conditions. That excess fluid can gather in your joints, making them feel tight, swollen, and painful, especially in the feet and ankles. The effect is quiet, even misleading. You eat bananas thinking they'll help your muscles, but over time, they may be slowly sapping your strength instead. What's worse is how subtle it all is. You don't feel any immediate pain. You don't even suspect the banana. But over time, with regular consumption, your ability to move freely may begin to erode. Think about your daily habits. If you've been eating bananas regularly and have noticed more discomfort, it's time to reevaluate. Bananas may be praised for muscle health, but in the aging body, they can turn from friend to foe. And if bananas, a fruit known for supporting muscles, can quietly lead to joint discomfort, what about a fruit even smaller? A fruit that's considered a top-tier, heart-healthy snack. Let's talk about grapes, the third fruit. Grapes, tiny, juicy, and easy to pop into your mouth without a second thought. They're marketed as antioxidant-rich, and great for heart health. But for older adults, they may carry a hidden inflammatory punch. Here's why: grapes are packed with fructose, a natural sugar that, in high amounts, can be problematic, especially for seniors. Unlike glucose, which is used by every cell in your body, fructose is processed directly by the liver. When consumed in excess, it can be converted into fat and uric acid. This is where the trouble starts. Elevated uric acid levels can lead to crystal formation in the joints, especially in the toes, ankles, and knees. That might explain the sharp pain in your big toe at night or the unexpected stiffness in your calves after resting. Even a small handful of grapes eaten regularly can gradually raise uric acid levels, worsening chronic inflammation and triggering those nagging aches that make daily movement harder. And it doesn't stop there. Fructose contributes to the body's inflammatory burden, fueling joint pressure, stiffness, and overall discomfort. The problem with grapes is that they're just so easy to overeat. You might think it's just fruit, but suddenly you've eaten 2 to 3 cups, and with that, a large load of sugar, even if natural. This sugar doesn't just disappear, it accumulates, affecting blood sugar balance, liver function, and joint health. So, while grapes may seem like a safe snack, they could be slowly reducing your flexibility, draining your energy, and making your legs feel less agile as you age. Let's now talk about watermelon. The fourth fruit on our list is watermelon, the bogus hydrator. Light, refreshing, and the very image of summer hydration. But could this water-rich fruit be subtly damaging your legs? It seems unlikely, right? After all, everyone agrees that watermelon is hydrating, low in calories, and mostly made of water. It feels safe. Here's the hidden truth, though. Watermelon has an extremely high glycemic index. That means it causes your blood sugar to spike rapidly, much like candy. And for seniors, frequent sugar spikes can do significant damage, particularly to the legs. Let's break it down. When blood sugar levels shoot up quickly, the body releases insulin. But with age, insulin regulation becomes less efficient. This leads to inflammation, especially in areas with already weakened circulation. Where does that show up? In your calves, ankles, and knees. You might notice leg fatigue shortly after eating, a dull ache during short walks, that weird, persistent swelling around your ankles. Climbing stairs might start to feel like hiking a mountain. The watermelon feels light and harmless. It acts like a sneaky trap, softly wearing down your legs, and because it's so juicy and satisfying, people tend to eat more than they realize. One slice turns into 2, then 3. More sugar, more inflammation, more pressure on your joints. It fools you. You think you're hydrating, but instead, your blood sugar is spiking, your circulation is struggling, and your legs are quietly suffering. So does watermelon actually help seniors stay hydrated? Or does every mouthful quietly increase movement discomfort? It may be time to reconsider if you've been eating a lot of watermelon and your legs have been feeling heavier, tighter, or more exhausted. Let's now move on to a fruit that's associated with vitamin C, immune-boosting juices, and breakfast staples. But for seniors, it may deliver an acidic attack directly to the joints. Let's discuss oranges. Oranges are the fifth fruit, the attack of acid on aging joints. Bright, tangy, and full of a fresh citrus scent, oranges are everywhere. Juices, vitamin supplements, breakfast platters, they're considered immune boosters thanks to their high vitamin C content. But for people over 60, oranges may hide a painful secret. What's behind that healthy citrus glow? Acid, and lots of it. Citrus is abundant in oranges, and though that may seem harmless, it can cause subtle but significant joint irritation in aging bodies, especially if you already deal with inflammation, stiffness, or arthritis. You might wake up feeling stiff knees or a deep ache in your hips. Maybe there's a dull pressure in your legs after sitting for too long. You may assume it's just aging. But that glass of orange juice you drink every morning to stay healthy might actually be contributing to the very pain you're trying to prevent. Here's what actually happens. The citric acid in oranges doesn't just affect your stomach, it enters your bloodstream and begins to irritate the delicate tissues inside your joints. Combine that with the fruit's natural sugar, and you've now got blood sugar fluctuations and worsening inflammation. The result? Your knees, ankles, and calves may feel heavier and more painful with every step. To younger people, oranges aren't much of a concern, but for those with slower circulation and aging joints, the effects are amplified, and not in a good way. The most difficult part is that you're doing this believing you're helping yourself. Oranges have always been associated with health, but now you know they might not be as beneficial as they seem. What's next? The next fruit looks neat, green, and crisp, often thought of as the safe choice. But it hides something that may lead to night cramps, tight knees, and aching hips. Let's talk about green apples. Green apples, the sixth fruit, are a secret cause of leg pain. They appear clean, organic, and perfectly healthy. Most people, especially seniors, believe they're the better choice because they taste less sweet. It seems like the ideal low-sugar snack. But here's what few know. Green apples can silently cause stiffness, fatigue, and leg pain. Why? Because of two main culprits: malic acid and hidden natural sugar. Let's start with malic acid. It gives green apples that tart, sour bite. While it's harmless to young, healthy digestion, it can irritate aging digestive systems. Our gut lining becomes more sensitive with age, and that acid can inflame tissues, including those inside your joints. After eating green apples, some older adults report hip and thigh pain or a burning sensation in the feet. Others feel tightness in the knees. It doesn't happen overnight, but over time, the acid builds up and the discomfort increases. Now let's talk about the sugar. Even though green apples don't taste as sweet as red ones, they still contain natural sugars. And for seniors with slower metabolisms, those sugars can disrupt blood sugar balance. That's when calf fatigue, night cramps, morning stiffness, and weakness while climbing stairs begin to show up. What's more, green apples are often eaten raw and alone, sometimes even before bed. That means your body is constantly reacting to them. They look pure and healthy, but for aging joints and circulation, they can quietly contribute to leg pain and restless nights. Now what if a fruit this basic could cause so many issues? Imagine the effect of a tropical, rich, and extremely sweet fruit that many people love. Let's talk about mangoes. The seventh fruit is mango, the sugar explosion for your joints. Juicy, soft, and almost like candy in fruit form, mango is a summer favorite. But here's the reality. For seniors with joint issues or leg pain, mango might be the most harmful fruit of all. Why? Because it contains a massive amount of natural sugar. We're not talking a little. Mango delivers a powerful sugar punch that spikes your blood sugar fast, and in aging bodies, that's a serious concern. If you're under 30 and active, your body can typically handle that spike. But after age 60, your metabolism slows and your body responds with inflammation, especially in the soft tissues around your joints. You may feel burning in your toes, tingling that doesn't go away, evening swelling around your feet, or a creeping heaviness in your legs. The worst part? Mango tastes so light and refreshing that it's easy to eat in large amounts, but that light feeling is deceptive. Your body only sees sugar and it reacts accordingly. Over time, this can lead to sluggish walking, joint pain, and weakened legs. Many seniors eat mangoes believing it's a healthy, natural treat. And yes, it is natural. But natural doesn't mean safe. Not for aging joints and poor circulation. You've now seen the full picture. 7 fruits, each praised for their health benefits, yet each with a hidden downside for people over 60. But don't worry, there's good news. Some fruits do the opposite. They support joint strength, reduce pain, fight inflammation, and actually help your legs feel stronger. Let's talk about what you should be eating instead. Start with berries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. These tiny fruits are anti-inflammatory powerhouses. They're low in sugar, rich in antioxidants, and gentle on your blood sugar. More importantly, they improve circulation, particularly in the legs, easing stiffness and reducing swelling. Next, cherries, but in moderation. Cherries can reduce uric acid, lowering your risk of gout and joint pain. They help soothe that burning feeling in your knees and toes. A small handful goes a long way. Then there's the avocado. Yes, it's a fruit. Avocados are loaded with healthy fats that cushion joints and lower inflammation from within. They also help regulate insulin and provide steady energy without sugar crashes. Looking for something gentle on digestion? Try papaya. This soft tropical fruit contains enzymes that help calm inflammation and improve digestion. It's friendly to sensitive stomachs and aging joints. Don't forget pears, especially when paired with a little protein or fiber. Pears offer subtle sweetness without overloading your body. They deliver energy gently, without spiking blood sugar or exhausting your legs. Let's close with a message just for you. If you've read this far, it means one thing. You care about your future, your strength, and your health. Let me say this clearly. It's not too late to change. You still have time to recover. You are not alone. Aging is difficult. The stiffness, the pain, the fear of falling, they creep in slowly. But you are not powerless. You don't need extreme changes. Just start small. One meal, one fruit, one decision at a time. The fruits we discussed aren't bad, but they might not be the right choice for you anymore, and that's okay. Because aging doesn't mean giving up, it means getting smarter. Make mindful choices. Choose foods that support your strength, circulation, and mobility. You'll feel the shift, less pain, more flexibility, smoother mornings, and lighter steps. That's the goal of this message, not fear, but empowerment. Now, I want to hear from you. Tell us what you've learned today. What change are you ready to make? Drop it in the comments below. When we share, we all grow. If this video helped you or opened your eyes, even a little, please click the like button. Subscribe so you don't miss any more health-changing insights. Tap the bell icon before you go. And finally, drop a 1 in the comments if you found this video useful. If not, type 0 point. You may not realize how important your voice is. Stay strong, stay aware, and never forget your independence is carried by your legs.